so in this interview, I've got two fine, beautiful looking gentlemen here. This one's gonna be actually a very, very unique interview because my relationship with both of these gentlemen has come from fruition of over 4.5 years of being in business together. This is Dave, this is Austin. Dave owns a company called Proof.
Yes, I'm Dave, an entrepreneur for about 5 years. Started in kind of the marketing consulting world, shifted into coaching and teaching people how to do marketing. And then now I've started building software and run a software company that helps people solve their marketing problems as well.
And my name's Austin Distal. A few years ago I was in college running a marketing agency and eventually bought this guy's course. And that's how me and Rohan met each other. And now a few years later, we're all out here in Austin doing this interview together. So we were trying to scale the Entrepreneur Alliance, which was a $30 per month membership, access to trainings. And we were trying to get to $1,000 a day in paid ads.
Yeah.
But the issue was Facebook was charging more and more cost per click, and it's continued even since then to skyrocket. And so we came to find that the most effective way to decrease your ad spend cost is to increase the conversion rate on your landing pages and your checkouts.
Yeah.
If you send the same amount of traffic, but now it's converting 20% higher with the same cost, that means the cost is now 20% lower. So our strategy for getting to $1,000 a day in paid advertising was to increase our conversion rate by 20%. We're thinking of all of these ways that we could do that, and we studied the highest converting e-commerce site online. They're able to outspend all our competitors is Hotels.com.
Okay.
Them and Booking.com and Expedia are pretty much the largest paid advertisers on Google AdWords. And the reason why is because they're effective at converting those clicks to customers. So we're like trying to figure out what are they doing really effectively, and we came to find out they use a lot of social proof. You see this, and they have 5-star ratings, they have certificates like travel advisor certificate, they have testimonials and reviews, and then they have this notification up in the corner that says like 20 people are looking at this hotel room right now, or within the text of the hotel's hotel booking room, it'll say like somebody just now booked this hotel room 1 minute ago, and there's only 5 left. So like that's really cool. We're trying to like open up the embed scripts and figure out like what is the software here, only come to find they built it themselves. And not only did hotels build it themselves, so did Booking.com, so did Expedia. And so one of the founders at the Entrepreneur Alliance, he is able to code. And he's like, I think that I could create a rough sketch of this and use it for our site. And so within about a week or two, JP was able to build a notification. It was really raw. Didn't always work that well, but most of the time it was able to show whenever somebody bought, it would show that on the website. And so we ran that for about 2 weeks, and we had to like install it ourselves. Really no like user-facing software, but just having that on the site increased our landing page conversion rate from 19% to 42%. So over double the landing page conversion rate. And then our checkout went from 8% to 16%. So literally within 2 weeks, we were able to quadruple, double it twice, our entire funnel. And so our advertising costs sank. We were able to scale up the ad spend to over $1,000 a day. Within a few months, we got the Entrepreneur Alliance up to $30,000 a month in recurring revenue, and guns were blazing. It was amazing. And that's when we started telling our story of how we did this. Like, wow, how are you guys scaling the Entrepreneur Alliance so fast? And we told them this thing is working like crazy. So the Entrepreneur Alliance was a lot of teaching members on how to scale advertising and conversion. So we were literally solving our own needs, and that's when the members said, can we please use this ourselves? So we started using it, allowing them to use it, and started getting case studies of people that was working really well for them too. And that's when Dave and the guys started getting the idea, what if we sold this thing? Like made a software around this that was user facing and that they would just pay us month over month to use this software. And that's when Proof really became a product.
Dave, like you and I got to the consulting about 4.5 years ago, and we met through a course, and like, you know, you've gone from consulting to then kind of info coaching space, and then now you run this amazing, you know, establishment here with Proof, and what you guys have been crushing it online. You know, kind of tell us your like trajectory, or tell the audience your trajectory of like what made you kind of want to get into consulting first, and why the transition, and what you learned from there into coaching, and then since then with Y Combinator and everything else that you guys have done here.
Well, I actually started in software. That doesn't make the story because I failed at it.
No way.
So like before that, I tried to do software. I tried to build this like fraternity recruitment app.
Okay.
And I tried to go sell this thing. It was gonna help like fraternities like, you know, manage the recruitment. But I had no idea how to be an entrepreneur. No idea how to do sales. No idea how to do product development. Like, it was just horrible.
Yeah.
So I spent like 10 grand on that. Kind of was running out of money. It was like my whole life savings.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, this is not gonna work. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to start making some cash.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started in consulting. But I think like the seed was planted that like I wanted to be in software. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was like the future. Like, I didn't have skills. I didn't have cash. I didn't have anything that I needed to go do this well.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, okay, how do I go get some cash but also get skills?
Yeah.
Okay, if I land clients, local clients to do their Facebook ads, like, they will pay me to learn everything I don't know.
Yeah.
To go build my company later on someday. So instead of me having to pay for it, it's like, okay, like, they'll pay me $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll do it for them. But really, I'm just trying to learn for myself, trying to get some money saved up so I can go build some software someday.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into that. I think like what was unique was I was solving the same problem. So coaching or, you know, consulting, I'm helping them make money online and increase their website conversion rate.
Yeah.
You know, courses, I'm helping them make money through the internet and increase their website conversion rate.
Yeah.
And then Proof, social proof software that helps people make more money through their website and increase their website conversion rate, but it's just through software. And so I think I've kind of been solving this problem for like 5 years, just in different ways. They're kind of more and more leveraged,
Just
more and more productized. So it's like, you know, how do we launch Proof successfully? It was just because like it had 4 years of like skills, network, you know, all that behind it. So I'm like launching, like standing on the shoulders of those other companies, which made it a lot easier than like just starting from scratch in software.
And I think in that part too, I just remembered is you guys had another software, PayFiles, that you guys had, and then while that was all of this is going on, so it's like, and it's just so crazy to think, it's like you guys always found, like watching the three of you and then Austin coming in at one point, it's like every time you saw a niche, you guys just went and got it done.
Yeah.
Like built the software, fixed the issue, sold it, and then sold the company. Then you guys did and even with Proof, I remember you're like, oh, we've got this cool software coming out that's going to help everybody's conversion. So that's pretty epic. Now, you know, with you, Austin, in terms of 6K and like what I think actually our relationship goes back before the online world, from the Vima days.
Like you guys knew each other through Vima?
Through Vima days, yeah. So like that's kind of where our relationship actually goes back. So it's a long time before. But you got into the industry through Dave's course. Like, kind of what attracted you wanting to learn from Dave, and then what kind of attracted you wanting to come and work with Dave and then be the CMO of the company today?
Yeah, I was. It's funny to go back to that network marketing time. You know, that was a huge shift for me into learning how to build an online business, because much of it was online for me. And then I got really tired of not actually having control of my own product. And like, because you're recommending somebody else's product and like you're part of their company, and so while you're in business for yourself, it wasn't my business, right? And so that's when I left network marketing to build an agency. And was basically doing a lot of project-based stuff. So I was the salesman, I was the guy that did the work, I was the guy that did the finances and accounting and all of it. I was wearing every hat in my business. So I was running myself really dry. And I needed change. I was really stuck at like $3K a month on my own. So what would happen was I would sell clients in month 1, and then in month 2, I would do all the work for them, but then in month 3 I'd be broke because I didn't have anything filling up the pipeline, because I was so focused in my business that I couldn't actually work on it. It wasn't ever growing or scaling. And so I was looking for 2 solutions to this. I needed to find products that had monthly recurring revenue, some kind of retainer, so they weren't project-based. And then I needed to make sure that I could replace myself and outsource to people that were more competent at these skills than I was. You know, I needed an accountant to do that stuff. I needed Maybe somebody to do Facebook advertising if I landed somebody on that, and do SEO for somebody that's really good at that.
Yeah.
So I could focus on what I'm really good at. And so while searching for this solution, I started getting targeted by Dave's ads. And that was my first ever experience of going through an online funnel of buying something. And I remember it really clearly because it was spring of my senior year in college.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I had been saving up for the Bahamas to go on my senior year spring break.
Now, the kind of led it, like, obviously through the transition of agency for you, and then kind of coming and managing, I think it was a group at one point, I don't know, from what I remember correctly, it would have been 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
When you moved from Atlanta to Annapolis. Where did your role in terms of working with Dave and Proof, and like how did that whole transition come into play?
Yeah, for new entrepreneurs, I think it's really valuable for you to be a student of success and really just implement what your mentor is requesting of you. So Dave made this series of for 7 days, go through these challenges. And if you do all 7 challenges, you'll be a stronger entrepreneur at the end, no matter how silly, how ridiculous they are. This one, do you remember what the challenge was, like day 2 or 3?
You had to go get $1 from somebody. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You had to go around you said ask someone for $1. And it was just to get you used to asking for money from people.
Yeah.
Let's kind of focus towards Proof and kind of take one step back with another software, PayFunnels. Because you guys had some wicked success for a short period that you guys had the company with that. Like, how did that come about to be? What happened to that, and obviously kind of exiting that, because you've technically exited a company, which puts you in a whole different world of entrepreneurs.
I think for us, PayFunnels was just a little software that we built in our agency days of how to invoice clients. We built it for ourselves. When we rolled into coaching, all of a sudden, people started asking us he'd sign a client and be like, they said yes, what do I do? I'd say, we use PayFunnels, but it wasn't a software that was available. Yeah. And he's people started asking, hey, can I use PayFunnels too? We're like, well, okay, here it is. $29 a month. Yeah. You can sign up here. You can use it yourself. And before we knew it, we had about 500 people paying $29 a month. Yeah. And it was just growing kind of without us even really thinking about it. It's kind of the thing that JP worked on the side. Yeah. And I think for us, it was just this training wheel business. We want to get into software. Let's kind of do it on the side here, learn some of the ins and outs, see if we can kind of build up a software. And kind of at the point when we were looking at launching Proof, we were okay, we've got Entrepreneur Alliance, we've got PayFunnels, we're big on focus. And so we got to streamline this and focus in. And so we kind of merged Entrepreneur Alliance in, and that's when we started looking at, could we sell PayFunnels? Yeah. And so found a broker that could kind of go list it and get a bunch of people, looking at it. Went through the whole process of due diligence, talked to a bunch of buyers, and then ultimately ended up selling it off. As this asset, which I think was a cool thing for us. I mean, it wasn't a huge number, but it was cool because we kind of saw the whole life cycle of software, and we were like, this is a lot of money, and we didn't even really try. What if we really go all in on this? We could do this, 1,000 times bigger than before. So I think for us, it was a really nice little training wheel business that provided real value, served the market. It was ultimately a pretty cool little product.
One of the things that you said there is focus, and that's one thing that the way I structure a lot of what I teach and stuff is I do things in quarters. So every quarter I have a theme of how I work, and this quarter, funny enough, it should it's all in focus for me, and kind of just getting rid of stuff that's not working. And looking at your transition from where you started failing in the company, then getting into consulting, then getting into info, then getting into a full life cycle of software, and then Proof, and then just cutting everything else out. Why did you guys have that? What made you have the epiphany, and why did you guys do it, and what has that brought you as a company in a whole? So both of you kind of obviously you were there from the beginning of this, kind of go from there.
Well, I think maybe we're just personally, I'm just bad at doing multiple things. It's I get so all in. I think entrepreneurs are like that. You get so all in. If I had multiple things going, they'd all just kind of suck. So I think I realized that first just from me. Then I started researching people that do big things, and they have this intense focus. And I think for us, that's probably the best thing we've done over the years is when we kind of shift from one business model to the next, if we go all in, we like kill the old one, like for better or for worse. I don't know if this is the right answer, but it's worked for us. So we kind of kill it off. Okay, say consulting was great for us, but now we are done with consulting, and ultimately we kind of let all of our clients go, and then we built the coaching and all that, and then we kind of say we want to get into software. We're just gonna like kill all that. And again, so we've got a lot of assets built up there. We've got a lot of stuff that's like we could keep doing, and so it's kind of painful. But we just see like the returns of the next thing to be so much bigger. It's like, we've just been willing to like go all in on like one thing and just say no to everything else. And I think focus compounds. And I think when it was even funny, like once Proof was launched, it kind of took off pretty quickly. And about like 4 months in, I don't know, we were doing like 70 grand MRR or something like that, which was like really fast for a software product. And so people were messaging me on Facebook, people kind of in our space, and say, they say, how's Proof going? I said, it's going amazing. I've never had anything work like this before. Like, we are just all in. And they'd say, that's great. What else are you working on? And I would just be like, why are you at, like, I just said, like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And you're just like, oh, are you gonna launch other things? And I just got really used to saying, dude, there is nothing else. There's not going to be anything else for a long time. I'm just gonna stay in my lane here. Because it compounds, especially like software, anything like recurring, like it compounds. Like these customers stay around a long time, and they get better and better and pay more and more.
With more features coming out.
Totally, and so I think it's a lot of entrepreneurs. Like I still remember I went back to this wedding after college with my high school friends, and I told them, they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I run 3 companies." This is like back in the day. It's like none of them are doing anything. It's like these are 3 like that's like. I was like making up for it. Like I wanted to look busy, I wanted to sound cool, so I said I had a bunch of stuff going on. Like you get burnt out. You finally say, I don't care about this thing. Like, I just actually build something real. And so it's like now I run 1 company and that's it. A lot of those companies that I used to run are like way more successful, way more focused, way more powerful. And I think that's something that entrepreneurs have to make a shift on.
The way I think and the way I see what you guys have done is so smart because you became the thought leaders for this specific software. Everybody says we are like Proof, but you're not Proof. Because now Proof has become a household brand in the marketing world, the way I look at it. And everybody that I talk to is like, because everybody knows our relationship from like going back and forth. And I was on year 6K success, I'm pretty sure, for post jobs. Everybody's like, it's crazy to see what Dave's done. Like every single time your name comes up, or Austin, whenever your name comes up, even like JP and Chris and all of them, it's like crazy to see. And now you guys going after the enterprise level of business, which is an untapped market. So, final thoughts on what should we pay attention to for Proof over the next going into 2019, and what's the goals and kind of.
Yeah, I think this idea, so we kind of created this space, social proof marketing tools. It's funny, I was talking to this guy yesterday who was like a bigger client they were trying to land. He's like, I got on and I started researching. Somebody told me about you guys. So I was researching social proof marketing because our CEO was like, we want this on the site. I was like, nobody was talking about this a year and a half ago. He's like, I started doing research. I was overwhelmed by all the options. I was like, again, it's so weird. Like this wasn't a thing a year and a half ago. There's no option. Nobody was like trying to get social proof. It's like, this is new. And so we kind of created the space, we kind of dominated, but we also want to like continue to grow and expand. And so I think, recently we've been exploring this idea of like, what we really do is like customer powered marketing. It's like letting the customers kind of market for us. We're using social proof, we're letting their voices speak. And it's like, how do we continue to be a customer obsessed company, continue to build customer powered marketing products? And so inside social proof, we want to continue to expand that, but then we also want to build tools for SaaS companies to increase their website register, sign up flows, increase their demo registrations by dynamically shifting what's happening on their site. So when somebody comes to the site, we want to let that customer, who they are, what the behavior is, dictate what they see. So it's still customer powered, and so we want to shift headlines, we want to shift images, we want to shift the whole funnel to be one-to-one matched up with them.
Based on how their buying patterns are.
Based on the buying patterns, based on what they're doing there, based on who they are, what size company they're in, all those things. We want it to be driven by them. They kind of, in a sense, decide how they get marketed to. And kind of starting with, what do customers want? I think most like businesses, most marketing tools that start with, okay, like what's going to give us lift, what's going to be effective. I think that's good in the short run. But I think starting with, what do customers want, matching those up is always going to give you like the best like long-term increases. And so, kind of moving up market, we're building out more tools to kind of shift what's happening on the website and continuing trying to iterate.
That's awesome. Well, this is a long interview here, guys. Probably one of the longer ones we've done in a long time. Where can they find you online if people want to kind of connect? I'm sure you're probably hidden in the office somewhere. No one, don't talk to Dave, but I'm sure someone can follow you, kind of see what you guys are doing. Austin, where can they find you? And I'll put some links below for you guys to go check out the software.
Check us out. Useproof.com. We put out a lot of training courses, and Austin's always putting out really good content on training people up.
Yeah, and you can find me on any social media at Austin Distal.
There you go. Awesome, guys. Well, until next time, maybe in a year from now when I come back to Austin, we'll do
Hope
another
so, man.
part 2 of this.
That'd be
See
awesome.
where you guys are at.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Sounds good, man.